Hi kids, welcome back to my kitchen. I have a new story for you today. I actually wrote this story quite a while ago, and I wrote it because my daughter used to live in an interesting city, and she and her friend took me around that city and showed me some wondrous sights. So I want to share some of those with you. And I just want the kids at home to know sometimes when you're writing a story, whether it's fiction or realistic fiction, sometimes it's best to write a little bit of what you know. And so that's what I'm doing. I was just making a connection with something my daughter showed me, and an idea for this story came into my head. This is the first Bucky Carson story I ever wrote. Okay, so I want to dedicate that to my daughter and her friend. My daughter's name is Becca, and her friend's name is Alexa. So thank you, girls, for the idea for this story. All right, so our story today is called Bucky Carson, the Bus Driving Dog, and the Magical Falls. All right, here we go. Bucky always loved to travel. As a young pup, he would ride in cars, tongue hanging out, all out the window, drooling with joy. But lately, no one was out joyriding. Bucky decided to do something about that. Here's Bucky joyriding with his owner. And they're no longer joyriding. The next day, Bucky bought a bus. Not a van, not a school bus, but a big tour bus. Bucky had decided that if he loved traveling, others would too. And here's his new bus. He drove it home because he has an idea. He started his own travel company. He painted his bus and wrote the name of his company on the side in big black letters. Bucky Carson, Bus Tours, best in the land. And here's Bucky. He's painting his bus and painting the name of his company on the side. To everyone's surprise, except Bucky, his first tour was booked in no time. What would they tour? Where would they go? Nobody knew, not even Bucky. Once the bus was loaded and the luggage was stored, they were on their way. Bucky decided to go west on Route 20. Now I'm going to show you guys a map that I drew. Now remember, kids, I'm not an artist. I just like to write stories. But can you see? They're heading west on Route 20. Right here. There's the bus. They're starting in New York State. And look what's over here. We've got Canada. Down here is Pennsylvania. Seems that Bucky always heads west. He drove and drove and drove until they came to an interesting city. Where are we? The passengers asked. I don't know, said Bucky. Well, we're hungry. We want dinner, they all chanted. Bucky drove around until he found a local restaurant. The sign read, Duff's, Buffalo's best chicken wings. Here they are, stopping at the local restaurant in that city. Yeah, this place sounds great. We love chicken wings, they all agreed. There, they ate buffalo chicken wings and a gigantic sandwich called beef on weck. How delicious! How strange. Where to next? The group gathered back on the bus, and they were on their way. Bucky headed north on I-190. In a short while, it was dark. The older passengers started to fall asleep. Suddenly, there was a gasp heard from Bucky and the youngest passenger, Peggy. You saw it too? The young girl said to Bucky. Yes, I saw it, Bucky uttered. All the passengers were awake now. What did you see? Oh, we see it now, they said in awe. Bucky pulled the bus into a largely empty parking lot. Everyone got off the bus and stared. There in front of them was the most beautiful sight. It was magical. A magical waterfall. Lights of every color brightened the waterfall in the dark of night. The group stood and stared in awe for a long time. Bucky finally said, We'll stay here the night, and we'll see it in the morning. And here's the waterfall they saw. And this is what made it magical. All the water cascading down was illuminated in bright lights. And look here. There's a stairway that's heading down. The next day, the group was just as impressed with the waterfall as they had been the night before. It was still magical. We have to get a closer look, the group squealed over the roaring of the cascading water. Look over there. I see a stairway that leads to a boat at the bottom of those falls. Let's check it out, Peggy suggested. And they were off. Down, down, down they went. When they got to the bottom of the falls, it was as if the boat had been expecting them. The captain said, Climb aboard and put on this rain gear. You'll need it. Once they were ready, the boat left the dock and headed toward the falls. The roar of the falling water got louder and louder the closer they got. Everyone got wet, but no one seemed to mind. Then there was another gasp heard from old Pete and Bessie. Everyone looked in the direction they were looking, and they gasped too. Mouths open wide. Directly over the falls was the most glorious rainbow. This place really is magical, they all whispered. The captain of the boat had an odd look on his face. Didn't you know this is Niagara Falls? It's said to be the largest waterfall in North America. Bucky and the passengers were speechless. As the boat headed back to the dock and the group dried off, they all began to cheer. What a trip! Bucky Carson Bus Tours is the best in the land. The tour group joyfully filed back onto the bus. Bucky smiled and headed east. Where would they go? What would they see? Nobody knew. Not even Bucky. The end. Well, kids, I hope you enjoyed this story. Like I said, sometimes writing is easiest when you know a little something or experienced a little something of that topic you're writing about. And so luckily for me, my daughter took me to the glorious place called Niagara Falls. Now I want to show you some pictures. Here they are at the dock, getting onto the boat. And here's the captain that was so excited and seemed to expect them. Okay, and then here are the magical falls and the rainbow that everyone got to see. And you can see here's Bucky. We've got old Pete over here with his cane. We got little Peggy over here. Okay, so kids, have a great day, and I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye.